Haikyu, The Dumpster Battle is one of the most highly anticipated anime movies this year. It's definitely one for the fans, but I also think if you're new, there's a lot you can love about it. Let's get into it. I'm Charlie from Gateway to Anime, and I'm here to review Haikyu, The Dumpster Battle, which is currently in cinemas worldwide. In case you're not aware, this movie continues on from season 4 and is canon, and it sets up another movie which is due to come out whenever they announce a release date that will end the entire series. This film explores the fated rival match of the Nekoma Cats and the Karasuno Crows, which is something we have been building up to since the start of Haikyu. If you are a fan of Haikyu, you are going to love this movie just because it is just everything that you come to expect from Haikyu itself. So you have the humor, you have the camaraderie, you have the impressive animation, the excitement and the hype of it all. It's worth mentioning that the version of this film that I saw was actually in 4D. It was my first time ever experiencing 4D in a cinema, and it was kind of an interesting one to see it on. One of the strengths of this movie is you do really get the interplay between the two teams, who are fated rivals, yet have such a long-lasting friendship and importance to each other that you understand they have nothing but respect. The voice acting is as strong as ever. The music is fantastic. Sound design, it's exactly what you'd expect, the high quality of Haikyu. There is one scene in particular I think is a standout, and it is a point of view from the setter from Nekoma Cats as he is playing the game, and his point of view where he's hitting the ball up and you can kind of see and he's breathing and you really feel like you are actually playing the volleyball game. And I think it really is one of my favorite shots in all of anime history. I thought it was really quite special, and I think it's worth seeing it on the big screen just to check out that point of view sequence, because it's something that you don't really see that often, and seeing it on the big screen, and in my case in 4D where I was actually moving along with it, I truly felt like I had just fucking played a game of volleyball. The highlights of this movie are absolutely the volleyball itself, the music, the characters, seeing all of our favorites on the big screen. The backstory between the Nekoma Cats, two coaches, all of that really gets you in the heartstrings, and I found myself cheering out loud in the cinema, not once, probably about 7 times. So I was thrilled, I really got hyped up. Do I think it's the best anime movie? I will preface this by saying that I'm aware that this isn't necessarily trying to be an amazing standalone film. And I think that the climate of anime, TV anime adapted movies, which are canon, has been kind of interesting in years. We have had Mugen Train, which obviously started a huge trend. We had Jujutsu Kaisen 0, which is a bit different because it's a prequel, so you could just have that standalone. But I do think that with the Demon Slayer kind of recapping movies that they've been putting out now, it sort of is common to not really try and make it cinematic. If I'm watching a movie, I need it to work as a standalone movie. I need to hit certain beats, I need to care about the characters, I need to have it all kind of work together and tell a story in a very even arc. I think this particular movie, unfortunately, does read just like 3 episodes kind of put together. It doesn't really have a traditional middle inciting incident, that kind of thing. It just kind of goes, here's the match, oh my god, now it's done. Here's a bunch of flashbacks. It just really read more like an anime series that has kind of been pieced together for the big screen. So I need to make this very clear. If I was reviewing this as a standalone film, I would say I didn't enjoy it that much. It does feel like maybe the pacing of it is a little bit rushed, and the ending of the actual match, the volleyball match itself, kind of feels like it comes out of nowhere and you sort of go, oh wait, did it finish? Did they win? Like it feels kind of like a bit anticlimactic towards the end of the film. I really wish they'd fleshed out the story a bit more and made some more cinematic beats to make it more of a theatrical experience in terms of storyline and narrative. So it makes me question why it wasn't just an anime season, in which I think we could have had a lot more things fleshed out, a lot more of the character development, relationships explored. I mean, this has been the most hyped up match in the whole history of the show. So to have it end in not the most exciting way was a bit of a disappointment, and I think a missed opportunity for something that could have been truly special. And fans of Haikyu are absolutely fine with one game being drawn out. We had the third season, which is one game the whole season, and I loved that. Giving the time and energy to the characters and the relationships and the payoffs of that is sort of what makes Haikyu special. So I really miss that personally. I'm not sure it quite achieves the goal. I'm not sure it quite scores the point, spikes the... We knew that this movie was always going to have to set up the next movie, so we knew that it wasn't going to be the big grand finale of the show, but it still felt like they could have given more energy or gravitas to this particular match, which in the context of Haikyu itself is so important, is arguably even more important than the next match. The fated rivals, cats versus crows. But hey, I think it's also because we've waited for 4 years and we wanted more. One thing that's also tough about this is that you miss out on a lot of characters because they're not featured in this arc necessarily. So you don't really hear a lot from the third years. I wanted my captain to chat, and they kind of aren't in it as much because it's only adapting a certain part of the story. So some of your favorite characters don't get as much screen time, and that's a little bit disappointing, but hey, it's propelling the story forward, and we're aware that they'll probably have more time to shine in the next movie. So fingers crossed for that. I definitely would recommend seeing it if you are a Haikyu fan. And if you're not, you can still get hyped up by just the volleyball, the action, and just the kind of joy of Haikyu and the passion that these characters have. I think it's impossible to watch it without at one point getting really hyped up or emotional. And that's where the heart of this show is, and that's why it's so popular, because you find yourself all of a sudden being completely obsessed with volleyball and caring with all your heart about this fictitious high school volleyball team when you've never watched a sport in your life, like me. And I think that this movie does capture the heart of that. If you are a fan of Haikyu, make sure you get to the cinemas to check out Haikyu, the Dumpster Battle. I think it is worth seeing, maybe in 4D, because why not? I'm Charlie from Gateway to Anime, and this has been my review for Haikyu, the Dumpster Battle. If you like this kind of content, you can like and subscribe, or you can check out us on our social media platforms on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube. If you really like our stuff, you can always head over to our Patreon, where we have lots of bonus content. If you haven't seen the movie yet and need to catch up, please check out our recap video. And if you have seen the movie, please let me know what you think in the comments.